the Bud Light Marathon Offshore Challenge. These giants of offshore racing, some supporting 3,000 horsepower, compete not only for the dollars, but for the points in their quest for this year's U.S. National Championship. The HFC Pro Series Marathon Offshore Challenge is sponsored by HFC. Performance, it's what separates the best from the rest. And by Mercury Performance Products. The race never stops. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen. We're at Faro Blanco in Marathon, the heart of the Florida Keys. And with me is Jim Hendrick. And Jim, we get ready for the first national offshore race of this new season.
Hardly seems possible that just a few months ago we were closing the season a little south of here, Key West in the World Championships, and here we are with another year on a beautiful sunny day in Marathon.
And let's talk about that weather. The weather is absolutely perfect as far as the spectators are concerned.
As far as the spectators are concerned, Dick, and also as far as the competitors are concerned, we have 48 boats in 6 classes. The weather has been really good to these boats for this opener. Our roughest part of the course is only about 2-foot chop. Otherwise, it's relatively calm, so the Cougars and the Cats are going to have a field day.
Well, they should have a good time getting out there. We want to check out on one of the gentlemen who will be reporting to us throughout the race from Helicopter 1, and that's Rich Lures.
Thanks, Dick. We're preparing for what ought to be a barn burner out here. It's very, very calm today. There's very little wind. The sea conditions are extremely flat. That means the boats are going to go flat out. That means the crews are prepared for a torrid pace. We're looking to see maybe a record broken here. This course nearly eclipsed the world offshore speed record last year. It's notorious for calm water. It's also notorious for breakdowns. So I think what we're going to see is guys going very, very fast, and some of them finishing and some of them not being so fortunate.
Jim, as we get ready, we look at the boats and we see what looks like revolutionary ideas for the offshore boats.
Revolutionary for offshores, but not for boat racing, Dick, because the Unlimiteds came out with Bernie Littlesmith's Budweiser a couple years ago, put a canopy on the boat. Now that is going to be a rule for all the new Unlimiteds, but it's a testing period now for the offshores, and some of them have gone to Bernie to find out how he put his canopy together in the interest of safety for the drivers. Our 2 top competitors in the open class, which would be the ACR Systems with Bob Kaiser, has a full canopy F-16 fighter cockpit type of protection. Ben Kramer, in his boat, the Team Apache, has a 3/4 canopy. So there are different styles and different innovations as far as the canopies go.
Well, the helicopters are up in the air. The boats are just about ready to start. This will be the first national race for the offshores of 1987. We'll be back at our broadcast central at Faro Blanco in Marathon, the heart of the Florida Keys, in just a moment. This is the Florida Keys 7-mile bridge, and today it will serve as a grandstand. The quiet, laid-back town of Marathon, Florida, world famous for its tarpon and bone fishing. The place where sailors enjoy gliding over the most beautiful turquoise water found anywhere. Today it will host the first offshore race of 1987. All week long, the racers have enjoyed seafood delights from lobster to conch. Resorts that feature fun times like golf, tennis, or just relaxing in the sun. But today, the giants of offshore will race. And Jim, there's a good example of that water as we look at the milling area. It looks just about perfect.
Yes, it is, and if the boys don't stretch out and take advantage or over advantage of it, they can save their engines and finish the race. Here's our starting lineup. In open class, the national defending champion, Team Apache, US 1, driven by Ben Kramer. Systems with Bob Kaiser out of Detroit.
In the Cigarette Hawk, number 8, it's Craig Barry, and in the Cellutel, number 14, the driver is David Street.
The Spirit of America, driven by John Antonelli. Fast Company with Stanley Riggs at the wheel.
Number 18, a favorite Bandit, driven by Donald Berezowski. And in number 25, a guy we got to know real well last year, Seahawk, driver Sal Magluta.
Here's our team from the land of the rising sun, Team Kaze, driven by Masahiro Takamura. The Spirit Special, driven by Armando Fernandez.
In number 45, Flapjack, it's Les Quam. And in number 77, Thriller, driver Ed Martinez.
Now let's go to the modifieds. John D'Elia, Dry Special Edition. Joe Mock, in Dirty Laundry. Baja Bandit 2, driven by John Sosselin.
The M11, the American Dream, the driver is Dave Marcus, and the only lady driver on the course today in the Blue Max, the M99, Crystal Gerstner.
Dick, navigation, of course, plays a big part in all offshore ocean racing, and this is the way the course lays out. The boats will proceed south from the start-finish line to check boat number 1 and make a left turn under the 7-mile bridge, traveling east to Sombrero Key, making a turn north at check boat number 2, and continuing north for 10.5 miles to check boat number 3, and on to West Turtle Shoal. Then it's on to check boat number 4, turning south off of Fat Deer Key. The boats then travel south to the 7-mile bridge, turning right under the bridge, around check boat number 5, north back to the start-finish line. Now, the open and modifieds make this run 4 times. Pro Stock, Stock A and Stock B make 3 laps, and the smaller boats make only 2 laps to complete this course. And that's the way the course will lay out, Dick.
And some of the smaller boats that will be out on the course today and the Pro Stocks, what a package. Now, this is a boat out of New Jersey with the new capsules on top. Dominic Palumbi will be piloting it. In the P5 Laser Express, it's John Ingle.
Larry Vandermeed will drive the skater, while the agitator will be driven by Alan Duneman.
Moving on with our Pro Stock, the PTM2, Philip Mashinsky will be aboard that boat. In the P70, the Boardwalk, Nicky Coutreau Jr.
The Triple Threat with driver Wayne Vince. Miss Don Q, driven by Juan Zarellas. And the Bandit will be piloted by Robert Jackson.
In Stock A, S5 American Express, drivers Terry Ayers, the Crime Buster boat, driven by Jim Kimes.
Panama Jack with Byron Hill at the wheel. Brad Cox drives Breakaway. High Risk with John Henry Falk.
In Stock B, fully involved is driver Joe Sorrentino, and the S21 Liberator, John Knoll, and Double Trouble is Paul Kesselring. Out of all of the boats we'll see in today's competition, there are 2 basic types.
A deep V-type offshore racer is that. If it came right at you, it would look like a V coming right through the water. Now, a deep V shape allows the boat to ride on rough water at maximum speed. The traditional deep V excels in heavy seas, as the single plane places less stress on the hull. On the other hand, a catamaran design allows a faster run on calmer water. It looks like 2 hulls tied together with an airplane wing. In fact, that wing does create lift, minimizing drag on the water, faster speeds. Now, advanced construction techniques have made the cats a lot stronger than they were in years past.
On the course, the yellow flag is flying.
That means we're about to start this race, and here we go with Open Class Dick, and what a beautiful sight.
The pace boat peeling off at the top of the screen now, and we can see Seahawk has already taken the lead. But look at that, coming up on the inside, Bob Kaiser in the Systems boat, and it's a drag race as those 2 head down toward the bridge.
Well, start of a long race, they have to be careful. Strategy has to be planned.
There's the Seahawk, Sal Magluta aboard that boat. He had the lead right off the start, but he knows to his left he has got a real challenge with Bob Kaiser in the Systems boat. There you can see the helicopter right above him as they mark the lead, going down toward the 7-mile bridge. This is the 2nd place boat, ACR Systems. Now, I want you to look closely as we pan back on this boat. You can see the canopy design. They have the tops out of the canopy today to get more air into the cockpits over both the driver and the throttleman navigator. Let's move back to 3rd place now. This is Bandit, driven by Donald Berezowski.
Berezowski is driving, but the owner is John Antonelli, and now coming up the challenge is John Antonelli in his other boat, because he's a driver of record in this one, in the Spirit of America, to make the challenge to take over 3rd place.
Antonelli successfully moving the Spirit of America boat, a 38-foot Cougar, up into 3rd place now, and there again you see the canopies over the driver and the navigator throttleman. Good shots as you see these boats operate in really near perfect conditions. There's a good shot of John Antonelli. He is the driver of this boat and owner of both now the 2nd and 3rd place boat. Here's Flapjack riding in 4th position, Les Quam.
A 41-foot Apache with 2 650-horsepower Mercruiser engines without drives. Driver of record is Howard Quam, but the driver today is Les Quam, while Howard handles the throttles.
And he's doing a good job as the boats continue down toward the 7-mile bridge. There you can see Seahawk. That is the lead boat now going underneath the bridge. First one. 2nd place as they go to the bridge is Systems, Bob Kaiser, who's out of the Detroit, Michigan area, Grosse Pointe to be exact. And 3rd place, as we watch the boat take over 3rd, is the Spirit of America.
The Bandit is 4th, Spirit Special is 5th, Flapjack is 6th, while our defending US 1 Team Apache looks like he's taking it easy, Dick.
Ben Kramer started out a little bit on the slow side today, and Team Apache now is riding in 7th position back there. Now, he has the capsules that are 3/4. So he's getting a lot of good air in there, and of course these capsules again are new to these boats, and this is one of the first times that they've had an opportunity to try them out in the actual race conditions. So we'll be interested to get the reports at the end of the race.
As they go out from the Gulf out to open seas of the Atlantic, our Japanese visitors, Team Kazi, is in 8th position.
And kind of an interesting boat here, because this was the boat that was the second of the Team Seahawk boats last year. They sold it to the Japanese, who we understand are building their own boat in Japan, but they wanted to get some experience in racing. Now the boats are heading out to Sombrero Lighthouse, where they'll make one of their turns. Good water as they head out that way. And now let's take a look back at the modified class. They have just started. Special Edition is in first position. That's John D'Elia. Second is the M3 Dirty Laundry. Now, Special Edition is the defending national champion. Earlier, we talked with John about some improvements to his boat.
We completely reworked the boat this year. We had a little problem in Key West. We sunk the boat in the second race. We patched it up temporarily, went on to win the World Championship. Over the winter, we spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and redoing the boat and re-rigging the boat, and we've got the boat running better than ever.
And he's got to be happy with it right now, because Special Edition is leading the field as they head down toward the 7-mile bridge.
Here's the Dirty Laundry out of St. Louis, Missouri, a 32-foot skater currently riding in second place.
And just barely back in second place. You can see the wake off of the lead boat, Special Edition, as they try to move the boat from St. Louis up there to tie him in. Now, here's a boat that's familiar to those who followed the circuit last year, the M7 Baja Bandit, John Sosselin. He is currently riding in third place.
A Buckeye out of the state of Ohio.
Fourth place now is the American Dream boat, the M11. Look at the beautiful design of that boat. That is really modernistic. Dave Marcus enclosed in a capsule, and that is a totally enclosed capsule, one of the few that's totally enclosed out here today.
They're running two 565 horsepower United Racing inboard engines.
In fifth place, the blue boat out of Michigan again. This is Crystal Gerstner aboard the M99 Blue Max.
And from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, she's the only female in competition in offshore ocean racing today. Since the retirement of open class champion Betty Cook and the modified champion Paula Aiken, both from Southern California. And there she is, Crystal Gerstner.
More offshore racing from beautiful Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys when we return.
There he is. What a happening dude.
They're a super party animal.
Yeah.
His name is Bugs McKenzie. A barbecue inside.
A barbecue.
And a cold Bud Light.
A cold Bud Light.
Puts him in a party frenzy.
In a party frenzy.
He's Buds McKenzie, Bud Light's original party animal.
Go, Buds, go. Go, Buds, go.
Those Buds go.
Buds, you really cooking now.
All right.
An offshore powerboat race is a massive event to stage, but the area of Marathon really got behind the project. I talked with Mayor Sam Feiner about the community's involvement.
Well, I really think the people of the Marathon area and Key Colony Beach area and all throughout this part of the Keys are really interested, because this probably is one of the biggest events Marathon's ever had. I think that also they were very fortunate. When you take a look at the water out here, it's just really flat and hardly just a gentle, balmy breeze blowing, and I think all in all it should be a superb race. The great part of this, some of the funding for this comes from the Tourist Development Board of Monroe County, and I think we're very happy to support this, and we'll continue to support it next year.
And there you see some of the beautiful water as the pro stock boats have now started. They head down to checkpoint number 1 right by the 7-mile bridge.
And it's John Engel behind the wheel of the Laser Express out in front as he makes his first left turn to head for the 7-mile bridge and out to open sea.
That particular boat is owned by Michael Lipschutz out of Cincinnati, Ohio, a gentleman that was around the inboard hydroplanes for many, many years. P88 Miss Don Q now in second place. Nick Coutro aboard Boardwalk out of Connecticut now in third. Looks like triple threat. P74 back in fourth place, and the P7 Skater holding down fifth. So some tight competition, and you can see them going under the bridge.
You can see the triple threat here is powered by 3 outboard engines. They have their choice, inboard or outboard in pro stop.
The open class now is out approaching the Sombrero Lighthouse area. That is out in the open ocean. Seahawk number 25 still holding on to first place. Sal Magluta. Systems really in there. This is shaped up as quite a battle between first and second. Good shot into the cockpit. Now you can see it looks like they're adjusting something in the back of the boat. He was looking down. Look at him look over the shoulder. That's a great shot. You'd think these guys are just concerned as to what's ahead of them, but the navigator has a time to look back over, and this is what he sees. The ACR Systems coming up right behind him in second place.
And it's a team effort, 2 peas in a pod, if you will. The driver is Bob Kaiser. He's on the lower part of our screen. He looks over at his throttle man, the veteran L. Lanier from Fort Lauderdale. He'll handle the power.
And, of course, with the throttle man, they're concerned with stretching the engines out too far. They don't want to burn them out because the water is that good. Well, the competition is fierce in the open class. Let's go to Rich Lures in Helicopter 1 for an update. Rich?
Thanks, Dick. We've got the first drag race of the 1987 season between a rookie in the Spirit of America, John Antonelli, and Bob Kaiser in the ACR Systems. The keynote today, as I said before, is speed. The water is very calm. This is the roughest part of the course. I don't think we've got 3-foot seas out here. And these two guys are duking it out at a little over 100 miles an hour, I'd say 110. And the Spirit of America has made a move and has passed Bob Kaiser's ACR Systems for second place.
As the speeds in these boats increase each year, safety becomes a major issue. One new innovation is the safety capsule. Earlier, Jim spoke with Bob Kaiser about his decision to use a new type of canopy.
Bob, this is an option in offshores.
Yes, this is the first year that the canopies have been put into use in the offshores. We felt from the research that the hydroplanes have done that it was a good thing to bring to our sport. What it does is it eliminates the variable of the water coming over the bow of the boat in a stuffed situation, which literally, takes your head off. That will be prevented with the new canopies, and then we feel more secure about being strapped in our 5-point harness with the canopies. So together we think that we're going to take care of both tragic situations that may occur.
Ben Kramer of Team Apache has a different outlook on the canopy designs.
Everybody looks at this thing a little bit differently. We've survived this stuff, and quite frankly, that I think that you're endangering your life by sealing yourself in that cockpit. This is not a controlled circuit. It is not a controlled course like open hydros. We're out racing in open water, and as good as the medical people can cover you and as good as you can have yourself covered by a helicopter, you're still out in the ocean, and anything can happen. And if one of these boats flips or one of it dives down and fills with water, the guys are going to be trapped in that canopy. And I know everybody's thought of 30 different ways to get themselves out of that canopy, but if you're half unconscious, if you're bleeding and you're really messed up condition, you're not going to be coherent enough to actually work to your full capacity.
Well, certainly the capsules are working well, as is the rest of the boat at this point. Team Apache starting 7th, currently up into 4th. Rich Lures is in Helicopter 1 over the modified class. Rich, give us a report.
Thanks, Dick. We've got a drag race in the modified class between Joe Mock in the Dirty Laundry, the 32-foot skater you see right in front of you, and just ahead of us, the national champion John D'Elia in the M1 Special Edition. These boats are no more than 5 or 6 boat lengths apart, and they have got the hammer down. We're showing airspeed of close to 100 miles an hour as we head out to checkpoint number 2 on the second lap.
There's a good shot looking into the cockpit with John D'Elia. John is having a good ride in the defending national champion boat in that class. Let's move back to 4th place, Jim.
4th place now is held by the American Dream. It's a 32-foot skater from North Miami. Dave Marcus is the driver. That boat is beautiful and has twin canopies in this modified class. And here's the boat they're trying to catch, the Baja Bandit 2, currently riding in 3rd place, a 33-foot Baja. John Saucel is the driver from Ohio.
And it's a good example of what's happening now as they hit the open ocean water, because you can see that boat is getting a little bit more airborne out there. This is Dominic Palumbi. The boat is called What a Package out of New Jersey.
We have a new 31-foot Conquest. It's a heavier boat. It has F-16 canopies. We're hoping that the canopies will yield all the safety requirements that all of us people in the offshore race category are looking for. It's a good handling boat. We look for good things from the boat and from all the safety features in it.
Right now, that boat is running in 6th place. Dominic, of course, is the defending national champion in the P class. I might tell you, he was concerned about getting the boat up on plane. He at least did that.
Here's the Dunnemans out of Oak Brook, Illinois. Currently, the Agitator is running in 4th place, a 32-foot Cougar. And they do not use the canopies as yet, as you can see, Dick.
I think it's going to be a matter of watching how long it takes all of these boats to adapt to the canopies. Here's another one without any canopies on it. This is the P7 Skater, this boat riding in third place.
From St. Charles, Missouri, the throttle man, that's Ed Collier and Larry Vandermeed from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. How'd they ever team up?
However they did, they're doing just fine, holding on to third place. And boy, there you can see a good example of some of the tremendous power these boats produce. They're trying to produce enough power right now to catch this boat, the Miss Don Q.
Don Q is driven by Juan Zarellas, but this particular picture, we saw Felix, the throttle man.
He's a guy that's getting a little bit of a workout there. The boat just getting enough out of the water, and it's at that point that the throttle man's really got to respond.
Not too shabby as we look at the #1 boat, the Boardwalk. Nick Coutreau Jr. is the driver of this one, and he's out in front right now.
And I'm sure very happy about it, too. Nicky has been driving this boat and getting better and better with it. More experience, you might say. There you get a good shot of what he's fighting out there as that wheel consistently has to be turned and the boat balanced. Actually, the smaller boats like this particular Stock A boat, Panama Jack, which is leading that group right now, really isn't fighting too much in the water. It's playing a little bit of advantage to the smaller boats.
And this boat is out of Fort Myers, Florida, which will be race #2 of the new year.
Right you are. Here's the second place boat in Stock A. Breakaway, kind of an interesting story with that young man.
Yeah, John D'Elia Jr. His dad is in the modifieds and leading in special edition in the other boat.
That's one of the stories developing in the race today as we watch out on the course now. This is the S77 High Risk. This boat is running in third place right now.
John Henry Falk is the driver out of New York City. We have a pretty good spectator fleet there on hand.
Well, I'll tell you, and that really makes it for these drivers, too. They get a lot of waves as they go by. Moving back to Stock B, this is Fully Involved, boat driven by Joe Sorrentino. He's out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Currently riding first ahead of the Liberator, the S21.
There you see Sombrero Lighthouse, and that is the turn point for these boats. This is Liberator. We were just talking about this boat. They're in second place now. John Knoll, who's out of Michigan. He's doing a good job of handling that boat so far. The smaller boats not getting roughed up too much today. And there's a shot of the 7 Mile Bridge, the old and the new. The open class action will continue from Marathon and the Florida Keys after this. It takes more than a local race committee to put on a race. It takes community involvement. Earlier, Jim spoke with County Commissioner and the chairman of the Tourist Development Council, Mike Puto.
People of Marathon as well as around Monroe County have joined together to make this an exceptional event. We're very excited.
It's going to be bigger and better than last year. I can see this. All your hotels are filled. The restaurants are filled. Looks like good business.
Yes, sir. Everybody is full to capacity. The town is just busting at the seams, and we're very excited about what's happening. The weather is going to be great, and we're ready to go.
Back out on the course, this is the lead boat, number 25, Seahawk, Sal Magluta, and Jim, I don't think they could ask for a better ride.
They're getting a good one right now. Of course, the water conditions have been perfect, Dick.
They are battling to hold on to that lead. The second place boat is Spirit of America, and you can see that boat also is riding beautifully in there. It's kind of strange. We were commenting off the air that you look at these boats with capsules and then you see boats without capsules and how fast we become adapted to the new look.
We're looking at the ACR Systems, the APBA World Champion of last November, currently riding in third place.
So Kaiser is still trying to make up a little room and find a little bit more power out of that boat if he possibly can. You're getting a good look at the wake being thrown off of the second place boat there. This is the US 1 Apache, and this is a boat that we have been watching because they started out in 7th place, and now they have moved up to 4th. They continue to grind away at the leaders, trying to make up a little extra ground.
Well, you know, Ben Kramer and Bob Adoni, they're nobody's dummy. They know how to pace.
Let's go to Rich Lors.
Team Kazi, negotiating the turn at checkpoint number 3, has allowed Howard Quam to come completely abreast of them, and they're now virtually neck and neck in 5th place in the open class. This is Masahiro Takamura in his first APBA race. In open class, he's driving a good boat. It's the ex-Seahawk hull. And he hails from Glendale, California. The navigator is Masahiko Kondo, and the throttle man is Shigeru Hojo.
Here's a look at that neck-and-neck race Rich was talking about right there. The white boat nearest to the bottom of the screen is Flapjack, Les Quam. Boy, they are really in the battle now.
Deep V type of hull, and they have, of course, smooth water today, but they're still getting a pretty good ride where it should be advantage to the Cats. They're giving a good race.
Bandit has dropped back a little bit, now to 6th position. I think everybody's finding out with the first race of the year what the other boats have and what they can expect as they go down. There's going to be a lot of retuning of these engines and modifying of the hulls as we continue. Number 39, the Spirit Special, now in 7th place in the open class. Boy, they look like they're out for a Sunday afternoon ride.
That's the way the water has been all day here, Dick. And the attrition, of course, we understand is high. A lot of the boats are dropping out in all classes.
David Street of Meredith, New Hampshire is out there in Cellutel Telecommunications boat with Neil Red Crane out of Mount Clemens, Michigan on the throttles. There's John D'Elia still leading in the special edition in the modified class. Rich?
Thanks, Dick. What we have is what I'll call controlled speed out here on the race course. What they're doing is they've got unlimited speed capability in terms of the water. The water is as calm as you're going to see in an offshore race. These boats can go full throttle. The question is, can the equipment take that for 150 miles? The answer, obviously, is no. So what the throttlemen are doing is holding the power back, using just enough to maintain their position in the race and keeping themselves in shot of the lead, so that at the finish line they can be running on 2 motors and in the first position. That's the goal. The execution is a little more difficult than the plan. But right now, John D'Elia is doing it flawlessly in the special edition, holding the boat well under its maximum speed, but still leading the race.
And the gentleman in charge of that speed is the throttleman, John Digger Durgans. And John have been together for a long time. 2nd place still running and modified, the M3 Dirty Laundry. And again, you can see the tail end of the boat right ahead, so that is still a good race going on out there as they hit the open ocean water of the Atlantic. There is the powerful back end of the American Dream, and boy, what a boat that is. Jim, I look at that boat and I see one of those radio control jobs. I guess it's that antenna on the back.
That's exactly what it looks like, I was going to say, but isn't it pretty?
It's a beautiful boat. It's a little bit deceiving as far as looking at it to realize how fast that boat is actually going out in that open ocean water. This is a big story. The P-70 Boardwalk, Nicky Coutreau Jr., he's out of Connecticut, and he is having a ball out here. He did real fine last year, got better and better with each of the races that he went into, and here he is out in front.
And here's the 2nd place boat in the pro stock. It's the Miss Don Q. Juan Sorellis doing a fine job in that boat.
Good bit of competition for the pro stocks. This boat running in 2nd place, as we said. The 1st place boat, Boardwalk, Nicky Coutreau. Here's 3rd place, the P7.
And Dick, doesn't anybody stand anymore? Look at these guys. They're taking a nice ride sitting down. Used to be all the offshores had to stand.
That's an interesting point. Even the steering wheels have been revised in there, so they can't really hold on to them like they used to when they used to pop up out of the cockpits. There's another good shot of a couple of guys sitting down trying to hold their helmets in place and such. Agitator, the P40, now riding in 4th place. And right behind the Agitator is What a Package, riding in 5th, the P1. That's the boat out of New Jersey, Dominic Palombi. And Dominic, as we told you, has a brand new boat this year. He was going to be happy to get it up on plane. He has accomplished that. Now he's going to work on trimming it out and trying to get a little bit more speed out of it.
And again, they're sitting. It used to be Betty Cook said that all the pounding she took, her body was fine, but her knees fell. You know, a field this large requires the support of sponsors. Dick had a chance to talk with Mickey Markoff.
Well, we're moving the sport into major metropolitan areas where we can have a great deal of viewing. Of course, for the sponsors, the name of the game is to give them exposure. Same for the race teams. It's very important to bring exposure both to the race teams, the race cities, the race producers. Throughout the whole sport, it's very important just to bring exposure. This way the race teams will be able to generate sponsorship in the future. The sport deserves recognition. The high technology of all the equipment, the sun, the fun, all the people that are involved. There's a lot of personalities in the sport that should be exposed to the public.
Back to the course now, and this is Bandit, number 18. This boat riding in 3rd place. Again, they look like they're out for a very comfortable drive. Not any real violent shaking of the boat at this point, just holding it in there. All the action here at the Bud Light Marathon Offshore Challenge on the water is not necessarily with a powerboat. We'll be back with more action and a special report. Race Week offers a variety of activities, and we caught up with Crystal Gerstner, driver of the Blue Max, and discovered that racing wasn't her only reason for being in Marathon.
Oh, I love coming down to Marathon. It's not only the beautiful weather in the Keys, but also the fact that the Dolphin Research Center is located right in Marathon, Florida. I've been a supporter of the Dolphin Research Center for years. I come down here and swim with them, which is just a thrill of a lifetime.
And an opportunity to do some real good. Mandy Rodriguez talked with us about the purpose behind the Dolphin Research Center.
Somebody out there?
Well, it actually serves multi-purposes, really. It's more of a sanctuary for marine mammals that are sick or have become sick for different reasons. Either an aquarium up north is not quite right, or they even strand in the wild, and we bring him in here and actually put him back together and rehab him back and put him back in the ocean. As a matter of fact, half of our animals have gone out in the wilds now. Strangely enough, as humans, we need a permit from the federal government to do this. As dolphins, they don't need a permit. They can leave any time they want to, but they tend to come back. They know when they have a good home.
So some good action over at the Dolphin Research Center, and here we see some good action with Crystal Gerstner driving the Blue Max. This is what she also does in Marathon. The Blue Max has a guest navigator on board, Don Breland, the bass player of the Oak Ridge Boys. He's navigating his very first race, and we asked him how he liked it.
Boy, I've been a big fan of offshore racing for quite a while, and to have this opportunity on the Blue Max is one of the best. And we're going to see how things turn out, and I just want you to know it's a real rush.
Well, we wish Don a lot of luck. He is sitting on the right side of the boat all the way to the back as you look at the Blue Max cutting across the water. It's a good rush to be out in front, too, and that's where John D'Elia right now is in Special Edition, the M1, and he's getting a little bit of competition out there from Dirty Laundry. Dirty Laundry has hung with him all the way.
Let's say a lot of competition. He's been pushing him right through this whole race.
So it's become a real battle of the catamarans in the modified division. There you see Special Edition going off, but you can see right on his tail, Dirty Laundry, the M3, and that boat, as we said, has not led up the entire race. He is hung with the leader and certainly is going to be one to contend with the rest of the way. Dirty Laundry, that boat driven by John Mock of St. Louis, Missouri.
And he's 2 foot longer than the leader. He's 32 foot long. The M1 is 30 foot long.
Here's the Baja Bandit 2. This boat's in 3rd place, and we were talking about dimensions. This particular boat is 33 feet long, powered by 2 535 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard engines. Develops a lot of power out there, but right now they need just a little bit more to catch up to at least 2nd place.
Here's the American Dream, a 32-foot skater out of Opelika, Florida, owned by American Boat Sales. The driver is Dave Marcus out of North Miami, Florida.
And again, this is one of the boats that has a totally enclosed capsule for both the driver and the navigator throttleman. We'll have to talk to him later to find out how that was riding in there. There was some question as to what kind of heat that could pull up.
Now checking the pro stocks. Here's 4th place, the Agitator out of Oak Brook, Illinois, with 3 270 horsepower Mercury outboard engines.
That's the team of Alan and Kirk Dunneman, and they are having a good ride out there right now. Here's the story, though. This boat has moved up into 3rd, the brand new boat from New Jersey. Let's go up to Rich Lords.
Thanks, Dick. Moving from pretty far back in the pro stock class up to a very respectable place is Dominic and Paul Palumbi in the water package. They're running right at about 90 miles an hour in this stuff. That's not too shabby. They are the national champions. They're a force to be reckoned with. They will need some more time to dial this new hull in, as do most of the boats here today. So getting in some needed testing time and also looking pretty good. There's Dominic and Paul Palumbi, the father and son team.
Well, they're really having a ride in what a package, and it's a beautiful ride for them in a brand new boat, as we told you. Now, here's another story. We talked about that one. Here's the skater, P7. They have pushed up Jim into 2nd place.
And they're really getting a ride right now. They're sitting down. Doesn't look too bad. There is no cowling, or at least what we call the bubble on top. So they're feeling the rush of air. They're feeling whatever speed they're getting.
And they've got that boat now in 2nd place. This would supposedly be the story of the race, Miss Don Q. They have now taken over 1st place, but the real story is the boat that you're not seeing, and that's the blue boat called Boardwalk. Nikki Kudrow has gone out as engines have gone dead on the course. This boat has now taken over the lead. What happened to Nikki Kudrow? He's not in any trouble. The boat has just simply gone dead in the water.
And coming by the spectator fleet right now, John Henry Falk in high risk, leading Stock A at this time.
That's out of checkpoint number 2 by Sombrero Lighthouse. Again, the water still staying very calm in comparison to what it could be. But you'll notice here the boats are starting to jump a little bit. That's Crime Buster riding in third place in Stock A. That boat is out of Key West, Florida, Jim Kimes and Tad Kimes. Here is Liberator, the S21, John Knoll out of Michigan. And Mike Landman is on the throttles. Boy, he took a little bit of a ride. No sooner do we say that it's starting to rough up just a bit, and he takes a little bit of an airborne trip.
Well, here's a story of attrition. A Seahawk leading most of the race with the back Collins open. You know what that means.
That means he doesn't have to worry about carrying the weight of the checkered flag around at the end of this race. He is out of it. The lead boat, number 25 Systems. Now, photographer John Rapullo was shooting a team photo and caught number 7 Systems as the new canopies were about to be put to the test. As he passed Seahawk, Kaiser was looking over at him. All of a sudden, he looked back, realized he had to make a turn. He throws the boat into the turn, and look what happens. Up onto one sponson, almost going over. I think at this point it's clear he is going to say thank you for that cockpit design, the canopy on top of him. Obviously, they came out of it all right there. You can see the boat is limping now under its own power. But boy, what a hit and what a test for these new canopy designs, Jim.
No doubt about it. A lot of research was learned in one short 180-degree turn up on one side. That'll mean that Spirit of America, number 15, will be in first place. And here, moving into second, is the US-1 Apache, Ben Kramer, the driver.
Apache has a very fine run on the course right now, and he's got a shot at first place. He has got to catch the number 15 boat, Spirit of America, to get first place. It is not going to be easy to do. Spirit of America has a good run going. John Antonelli is really piloting hard in that canopy-covered boat. He has got the three-quarter canopy just like Team Apache does. Getting plenty of air in there at this point. 2 700-horsepower Mercury inboard engines on that boat. And he's got himself a first place if he can just hang on.
The finish of the Marathon Offshore Challenge is in sight, and we'll be back with the action after this.
Well, Jim, he did what he had to do. Here's Spirit of America coming in, and this is going to be for the win.
Looking good. Both guys right now know they can take the checker flag, and what a feeling it has to be.
Boy, at this point in the race, after you've raced as long as they have over this course, although it has been a very beautiful day to go racing, second place will apparently be the U.S. number 1 boat, Team Apache, Ben Kramer, out of Miami, Florida. Here he comes down now to get the checkered flag. Ben Kramer, he's got to be happy with the way that boat has responded out there today.
A brand new boat, canopy and all. He's got to be excited about the 1987 season.
So we have our first 2 places in the open class. Here comes the modified winner. This is the national champion last year. He's got off on the right foot this year. Special edition, John D'Elia.
And D'Elia will take the checkered flag and is the winner in the modified class.
Well, as he takes that checkered flag, Jim, I'm going to suggest that maybe you go ahead and leave and go down to pits, because we just got word there has been a protest filed in the open class. We'll try to get a definition on that and see what happened. Here's Baja Bandit 2. This boat will take second in the modified class. So again, John D'Elia in special edition has taken the win. This boat, Baja Bandit 2, is now finishing for second place. Well, there has been a penalty assessed to the first boat across the finish line in the open class. That means the second place finisher, US-1 Team Apache, is now the winner. Jim's with Ben Kramer. He's the winner in the open class. Jim?
Brand new boat, Ben Kramer, and a first win. Has to feel good.
Feels real good. The boat was a little bit uncomfortable yesterday, but after the first lap, we got the boat cooking. Boat felt real good. Bob Idoni did a good job throttling. Crew chief Bobby Moore and the whole team Apache, Rick Ulrich. Preparation of the boat was excellent.
Navigation plays a very important part, and in fact, it played a very important part in your victory here today.
Well, that's why they make rules and regulations and spectator fleets, and it was a little bit mixed up out there. You could easily go the other way, but that's part of racing.
The winner, Ben Kramer, Team Apache, the first race of 1987. Dick?
Let's go right to the open class results. The winner now, US-1 Team Apache. Second place with the penalty, number 15, Spirit of America.
In third, number 18, the Bandit. Number 39, fourth, that's the Spirit Special. And now, Dick is down with the winner in the modified class. Dick?
How was the water out there, John?
Well, the water was pretty nice, Dick. It was perfect for our boat. As the day went on, it got a little rougher, and at the end of the race, the last lap, we were in the 3 or 4 footers, but perfect for our Chris Cat, the perfect kind of water for a cat boat like ours. This is why we ran such a good race. We're real happy because I took a 5th here last year, and of course, as I predicted this morning, I talked to Ernie Schmidt, who did a radio broadcast, and he said, what would you like? I'd like to finish the race safely, have my son finish safely, but I'd really be happy if we made it a family affair and both took home two checkered flags, which we did.
So the final results, modified special edition first, Baja Bandit second.
And the M11 American Dream in third, followed by Dirty Laundry, and rounding out the field in 5th position, the M99 Blue Max.
On the same race course last year, Bob Kaiser in Systems did a 360. He lost the race. This year, he managed to survive that incredible spin we saw here earlier. Dick talked to Bob about the continued bad luck he's been having.
Marathon hasn't been very good to me as far as those are concerned. You know, last year I spun it out and it cost me 1st place, and I think this year I spun it out and it cost me 1st place also. We were going at it real hard. We were right where we wanted to be. I was right behind Sal in the Seahawk boat, and he went down. I took a glance at, look over him. He went down right by the turn. When I glanced at him, the turn came up a little faster than I thought, and I think Arrow was looking at him too, and there's some spectator boats in front of me, and I had to crank it real hard, and I swapped ends.
All right, you swapped ends, did some damage to the boat, but the capsule worked fine, and you continued.
Yeah, well, at least I'm the first one to figure out that these capsules work. The boat almost went over. I don't know if we got it on film or not, but the boat did almost go over. It was up on its side for, you know, while I was swapping ends. But I was supported very well. The straps held me so tight to the seat that I didn't move. The only thing that moved was my head, and it was fine. Just got a little wet, a little less wet than last year.
More action on the course right now. The P7 skater coming in 1st place for the pro stock finish. He passed the P88. So that was quite a battle right up to the very finish, Jim.
Well, the Sorellis boys have to be, of course, disappointed. The Miss Don Q doing so well, now dropping back to 2nd place.
But they had a good run out there. It's still pretty good to start out with points in 2nd place for the first race of the new year. And, of course, the big question mark had to be what a package, because that boat had moved up considerably in the field, starting in last place. And there you see him finishing 3rd.
More exciting offshore race action when we return.
We move now to the pro stock results, Jim.
And it's a P7 skater winning 1st place. P88 Miss Don Q takes 2nd.
And in 3rd place, what a package. P1 and the P40 Agitator finishes 4th.
Right now, the checker flag for Stock A, the S44 Breakaway. And that's a proud moment to take that flag anytime, any class.
It certainly is, and especially in this particular case, because this is the 2nd of the winning Delias today.
Earlier, the S16, fully involved, took the checker flag for Stock B, and we congratulate them. Now let's go back down to the dock with the winner of Stock A, J.D. Dalia, and here's Dick Crippen. Dick?
J.D., what did he tell you before you went out there today?
Just be safe. That's all.
Be safe. Now, he said he wanted, first of all, for everything to be safe, but to be happiest with 2 checkers, and you guys got him.
Yeah, this has happened twice now, I think. We'll try every time now and see what we can do.
You feeling good about it? You're going to talk to the guy about taking over the big boat?
Well, soon.
Watch out for that. He's looking at the big one.
Okay. Well, we intend to race together next year, so we don't know what class we're going to race, but we'll be racing together. He'll be throttling, and I'll be driving, and we should have a lot of fun.
Here's the final results. In Stock A, Breakaway 1st, High Risk 2nd, Crime Buster, Panama Jack, and American Express in that order. Joe Sorrentino driving fully involved. The winner of Stock B is on the dock with Dick Crippen right now. Dick?
Joe, you went out there, had a good ride, good day for it all the way.
Yes, it was fun. It was about a 2-foot chop. The back leg was beautiful for us. We just went for a ride.
Now, some of these guys are saying, well, now, it got a little bit rough out there about the 2nd time around, but you were fortunate enough to have that boat totally under control. You didn't have to worry about the 2nd time.
No, we went 2 long laps and 1 short lap. The 2nd lap was a little choppy, but not that bad. It was great.
Sportsman A is won by Freeze Frame Video. Sportsman C, the Fish Peddler, and Danger Zone takes Sportsman D, and there's more action to come, right, Dick?
That's true. This was the first national offshore race of 1987, but IPI Sports has more coming events. Some more of them will be one from Miami, Florida, the Apache Offshore Grand Prix of Miami, and from Long Beach, California, the Long Beach Offshore World Championships.
A beautiful day in Marathon, and it finishes up with a great boat race. And, Jim, I think we have to look back at the race and say it really was one of the better ones to start a season out with.
Yes, because it was safe, and the fact that there were winners and losers. We had some controversy, but no matter, when you compete in this sport, you're all winners.
And I think the other thing we were looking for was the reaction to some of the canopies and some of the new ideas, and good reaction.
I think it's going to take on. I think in the very near future, all the boats will have canopies, the F-16 cockpit, the protection for safety, of course, reasons.
All right, so that is the first race of 1987 for the offshore powerboats. We're in Marathon at the heart of the Keys. We will be traveling around the United States with the boats. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us next time. At Marathon in the heart of the Florida Keys, I'm Dick Crippen along with Jim Hendricks. So long, we'll see you next time.
The HFC Pro Series Marathon Offshore Challenge has been sponsored by HFC Performance. It's what separates the best from the rest. And by AME 4000, high-performance marine resin from Ashland Chemical Company. A promotional consideration has been provided by Faro Blanco Marine Resort. Faro Blanco offers the best of island life, outdoor sports, unsurpassed fishing, diving, sumptuous dining, and the full marina facilities. And by ICOM Marine. With ICOM, the business at hand is quality. And if it's not an ICOM, it's not a radio.